Welcome to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you burn fat, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey everyone, it's Debbie Potts, and I'm excited to talk to Nicole Carlson from Sunlighten today because I have a Sunlighten and I was just in it. And I love having my infrared sauna. I call Fred because every time you type infrared on my phone, it says Fred. So I call my infrared Fred, and it has a near, mid, and far infrared wavelengths. So we're going to talk about how those wavelengths work and what are the benefits. And I just actually walked outside because it's during the coronavirus isolation time here in Seattle. And I walked outside in my tank top and workout tights, and it's 35 degrees out. So I did my cold thermogenesis and for Seattle weather, and then went in my infrared. So just talking about hot cold therapy, I've been talking a lot about hormetic stressors. So that acute dose of stress on your body is beneficial. So it's something, say, the cold plunge pool and get out and recover, the heat therapy, the heat shock proteins we'll talk about. And, hormetic stress is good. Nothing, if we do it all the time, is not so beneficial. So really going over good stress and bad stress, and not more is better philosophy. And you can read all about that in my book, Life is Not a Race, but I am trying to help you stay healthy and work on reducing stress and improving your immune system and working on recovery and repair. So we'll talk about how an infrared sauna can help you get those benefits and how to implement it into your own lifestyle. So let's bring on Nicole. Perfect. All right, so I have Nicole with me on the show to talk about infrared therapy, and she works for Sunlighten, and I appreciate you coming on the show, Nicole. I know it's super busy right now. We're recording during this coronavirus outbreak that we're isolated at home, and I know I'm in Seattle, Bellevue, Washington, where it all kind of started in the U.S. spreading, and it's just a lockdown right now, basically. So really important to talk about how chronic stress impacts the whole person, as I keep writing and, researching more this time, but just how important it is to not only improve our immune system, but reduce chronic stress, because when stress is on, immune system is down, and really want to get ourselves healthy right now. So I asked Nicole to podcast with me. We had this scheduled before all this happened. But I just want to tie in how to get our immune system boosted up and how infrared therapy helps. So Nicole, thanks for coming on the show. I know you're busy working at home and being a mom and homeschooling kids and juggling everything. So talk about stress.
Yeah, no kidding. This is like unprecedented times for sure. But thank you so much for having me. We're super excited to talk to you. And honestly, there's really no better time to talk about infrared therapy and all just the amazing health benefits that it has. We've had a lot of inquiries lately, people wanting to, looking for other ways to boost their immune system and reduce their stress. And luckily, we just happen to have an amazing product that does that. So we're glad to talk to you today.
Well, I closed my fitness studio end of September last year, and fortunately, I got to bring my Fred home with me. And so now I have my yoga room is now my infrared Fred. We call it Fred for short. And it just is so nice to have at home, especially now that, we're at home a little bit more often. And so let's talk about I have the M-Pulse. And we're not selling anything. I want to explain that this isn't a sales pitch for Sunlighten. And it's about talking about how to take care of you in different solutions and the science behind it. Because a lot of people are questioning, what can we do to take care of us? And I talk about how to take care of you from the inside out. So starting at a cellular level. So how does an infrared sauna work? And mine is near infrared, mid infrared, and far infrared. So can you kind of touch a little bit on that? I know that could be a whole hour itself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely kind of get into the whole infrared rabbit hole. There's a lot of information out there for sure. Unfortunately, there's also, a large majority of it is very confusing. And so really we just do focus on, you mentioned science, we really focus on the science that is behind our product. This is our 21st year in business. We've been in light therapy for 21 years. So we're definitely not new to the game, although some people, I'm sure a lot of your listeners are maybe just, hearing about it more recently. We have been doing this for a very long time. As far as the different wavelengths, there are different wavelengths. So infrared, what is infrared? So it's just part of the light spectrum. It's just part of it that you can't see. So for instance, far, mid, and near, they all have different benefits, but we'll kind of just talk about the far because that's the one that's going to reach you on a cellular level. So the far infrared literally goes into the cell. It heats the cell up. As the cell heats up, the water that's in the cell begins to sort of boil, I guess you could say, and that is what forces those toxins out. And that is how our product is different. We have studies that can verify, third-party studies that talk about the 3-degree rise in your core body temperature, which is what makes our infrared different, because for sure all infrared is not created equally. So where all the magic sort of happens when you get that 3-degree rise in your core body temperature.
So is that toxins are typically stored, I've heard of fat cells, right? So toxins is another thing I keep talking about as FDN health coach, is working on our liver congestion and detoxification pathways, because all these toxins kind of go through that filtration system in that pre-wash cycles. Phase 1, detoxification. Phase 2 is that wash cycle. And then we have our phase 3 almost is your elimination process. So to get our liver working to detoxify, because we have so many toxins in our environment, and then to really work on elimination process through sweating, through exercise, sauna, breathing, and eliminating those toxins are really essential. And those that are having a little extra weight they're trying to lose, that those toxins are stored in their fat cells. So they have to really be careful that they're losing fat weight, and maybe they're starting to, work on the low carb diet, doing more nutritional ketosis, that they're starting to lose fat weight. So using an infrared is a really important part of that, and having a binder with it too. We can talk later on, but so just want to add that in, because toxins are in us, and we need to really make sure we're able to eliminate them properly.
Yeah, 100%. And so the infrared just really enables your body to do that. We have what you're going to see if you use one of our saunas is about a 20% toxin release. If you compare that, and that's going to be through the sweat. So that's how you're going to get those toxins out of your body. And what you'll see is that rise in the core body temperature, that's going to stay with you for as much as an hour. It's just kind of slowly decrease. So that's what's beautiful about it too, is it's not just during maybe the 30 or 45 minutes that you're in the sauna. It's going to continue to stay with you as you sweat, even after your session. And so you're releasing all, so much. Sometimes it does take a few sessions before you start to really your body kind of gets used to it and is like, okay, this is what's happening, and I know how to start eliminating. Every body is different, but usually 2, 3, 4 sessions, you're really going to start to notice. And one of the things people always say to me is, it's so strange. This is such a strange, it's just a different experience as far as the sweat experience that happens when I'm in my Sunlighten. And that is because it is those toxins being released. It's often a more thicker, and maybe you can talk to this, a little bit more viscous. It's going to vary in smell based, from one person to another, just based on what toxins are in your body, because obviously we don't all have the same toxins. That's always something that I think people find interesting when they start using our product, is just kind of like how different it is. And as well, if you have been in, say, a traditional sauna, what you're going to see as far as a toxin release in a traditional sauna is going to be more like a 1 to 2% toxin release versus ours, which is 20. So huge, huge difference. Our infrared works because it's going into the cell, like we talked about, and heating you up on a cellular level. Whereas other products that you may be using, they're heating the ambient air around you. So it's just a different sweat. If you're using a sauna that's just heating that ambient air around you, you're sweating because the temperature is warm, just as if you were outside on a hot day, or, so it's not a lot different than that. It's fairly similar. So that's really the difference between a traditional sauna and, say, a Sunlighten Infrared sauna.
So the near infrared versus mid versus far, talk a little bit about the differences. And I know I've been into other infrared saunas. I think they're just far, but they're extremely hot. I felt really uncomfortable. And probably, you have to adapt to it. And I actually was throwing up.
Oh my gosh.
The first 2 times I tried it, so like, this isn't for me. I want to be able to sit here for 45 minutes and chill out. But talk about the differences of near, mid, and far, because I know there's different research on there. And I've heard Dr. McCullough kind of switching his mindset to you need more near infrared, and how that all works.
Yeah, I mean, definitely everyone has their opinion, and they're all valued opinions. I will just leave it at, we've been doing light therapy for 21 years, like I said earlier. And so there are benefits from all of them, far, mid, and near. So like they are named, far travels the furthest. That's the one that goes into the cell. Mid is more at a muscular level. And then the near is more the surface level. So they do travel the same distance as they're named. The far we've talked about. The mid is really, really great for reducing inflammation. And so a lot of people use the mid for anything from muscle recovery, for, athletes, to injury prevention, to maybe someone who, had a surgery and they've got a lot of inflammation afterwards. It's really great. It's a healing. It really helps with healing. The near is also beautiful in and of itself. And one of my favorites these days, as I am growing older in age, we sometimes call it the vanity wavelength. So it's really good for vital goals, but then even things such as acne, psoriasis, things like that. So they all have really great benefits. On the impulse that you have, there are 7 preset wellness programs. So it's detoxification, anti-aging, pain relief, weight loss. There's all, 7 different preset wellness programs that you can choose from, which is great. Each of those has a different pattern of far, mid, or near. Some maybe only have 2 of the wavelengths. It's kind of up to you based on, what your health and wellness goals are. And obviously they can change from day to day or month to month. So you can change those, as well as you can create your own custom program, which a lot of people like as well. But that's what I love about the far, the mid, and the near is, there's just so many benefits. It really is kind of the full spectrum of what you can get as far as health benefits go. I think your other question was about kind of the differences between our saunas and some others.
Yeah. So if you do like this impulse that I use is 3 different wavelengths versus some that are just, I think they're just far infrared, and it's such a different feeling and experience. And some people swear by one and then others. So what's kind of, I know it's personal preference, I'm sure, but is there benefits of one versus the other?
Yeah. So that's a great area where we can, introduce education around this subject, because hotter does not mean better. Now, hotter may be what more people are used to if they've been using a sauna in a gym or something like that. But that's definitely not an accurate statement that hotter is better. For me personally, just like you said earlier, I can't be at 170 degrees. That doesn't work for my body. I don't feel well. I feel like it depletes me of energy. And so that's what's great, is I think we have a really great product, but it's something that you can enjoy versus endure. And I think in a lot of those other products that are out there, you're really enduring. There are other infrared sauna companies that promote what they call full spectrum, where say they do, deliver far, mid, and near. And then there are definitely ones that just deliver far. We have 2 lines ourselves. We have our signature line, which is far infrared only. And then we have our impulse line, which is, what you have, the far, the mid, and the near. So it's really, when someone calls into us, we really want to find out what their desires are as far as their health and wellness goals, to find them the right fit. So it really varies. It's a personal preference as far as that goes. But the difference between what we offer, say, in our far infrared versus someone else, is that our far infrared was patented years ago. So no one else can deliver what we can deliver. And because of the way that we designed our heaters, which, by the way, is all based on NASA research, as far as infrared goes, we were able to kind of take that really hot heat out, but yet still deliver the best quantity and quality of infrared available. So with our products, you're going to get 99% emissivity, which means you're actually getting 99% of those wavelengths. So with our product, for instance, on the impulse, the near, the mid, and the far are all broken out and delivered separately. That way, you know exactly that quantity and the quality of the infrared that you're getting. The other products that are on the market, there's a lot of science out there, but they don't have the research behind their specific products. So you really don't know what you're getting. It's kind of like taking a supplement, but there's no ingredients on the label. So yeah, take this, it's amazing. And, but you don't actually know what you're taking. So that's kind of I think a good analogy that helps people understand the differences. And so with ours, you do know exactly, you're getting 90, that, that our heaters are patented. So no one else can deliver those far, mid, and near separately in one heater panel. You also have to think about the far, the mid, and the near. If you look into other products out there, you'll find, for instance, some of the near infrared panels are on the ceiling. However, as I said earlier, near infrared is the one that travels the least amount. So you actually have to be super close to those panels, which is what's beautiful about our product, because you are surrounded by them. And so it's very misleading. So yes, they can say, hey, we deliver far, mid, and near, but you're actually not benefiting from the near. Those heater panels are on the ceiling. As well, they oftentimes will put, what's a good name for them? But they're kind of like ceramic heaters.
I've seen those. Yes.
Yeah. So those are what they call full spectrums. So they're claiming that those deliver far. So they technically they do deliver far, mid, and near, but you don't know, but not at the same time. So again, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know how much of anything you're getting. And those are the heaters that make things super, super hot. They are very similar to, say, a ceramic heater you may buy at Target or Walmart or something to keep yourself warm in the winter. But I think we all know, we're not getting any health benefits from our ceramic heater. So you have to be careful. And again, you have to be closer to the mid and the near. So if you're sitting on the bench and say those heaters are in the front of the unit, you're again not getting the mid and the near. You couldn't even physically get close enough to get them because they're too hot. They will burn you. So there's just a lot of different ways to go about it. With ours, you're surrounded by the heaters. You can get close enough. You can literally lean up against them. It's safe. You're not going to burn yourself. And you know that you're getting 99% of the infrared wavelengths that are being delivered. And you know they're going directly into your body because, again, we have the science to back that up, 56 clinical third-party studies relating back to our product specifically, where really everyone else out there, I would challenge the listeners, if you decide to look into this, if you think this is a good fit for your household or your business or whatever, ask for the science. That's all you have to do. Ask for the science that relates directly back to their product, because I can assure you, you're not going to find it.
Yeah, I think science is an important part, and I think a lot of people want to hear proof, and especially, claims this will help with the immune system and whatnot. But the other thought I just was having, typical listeners, if they're an athlete, we're usually type A, highly driven, top performers.
Yeah.
And we live by the philosophy as more is better. So I think a lot of people, we think if it's not hot and I'm not dying, it's not effective. And more is better philosophy. So I think the challenge is to teach people how less is more in everything, so a lot of times, and that just because it's not 150 degrees and you're dying doesn't mean it's, not effective. And that I think a lot of people think it's the harder it is and you're tougher if you can push through it and survive it. And then you're like, oh, I'm superhuman, I can do that, I just made through it. But I think understanding that, 120 to 130 degrees and the quality over quantity or the temperature, I think is something to, remind people of and explain, because I just listen to people in these, infrared kind of detox blogs and Facebook groups. And I think that's just common, right?
Right.
More is better.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's definitely, something that is out there and that people can think. But I think everything I've just said relates back to more is definitely not better. I mean, and I can tell you, we have a lot of athletes, just even within the last year, that have come to us. We have partnered with all from professional to collegiate on down. We work with a lot of trainers, and a lot of them, for instance, we're in Kansas City. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Chiefs, but we hope that you are.
Yeah.
We obviously won the Super Bowl this year, and I can tell you that we had some injuries, specifically from Patrick Mahomes this year. He was out for a while. He has one of our saunas. That was one of the tools that he used to recover. He and Brittany have one in their home, an Impulse as well. And so this is something that really high level athletes are choosing, as well as we have just brought on a partner down in Texas who trains a lot of NFL as well as MLB athletes. He has them in all his facilities. I mean, this is a product for people that are behind the science and that are willing to let go of that thought out there that hotter is better, because hotter is not better. Having a ceramic heater doesn't make it better. The heat, it's not about how hot it is. And let me remind you, I mean, these, like for instance, on the Impulse, it's from 125 to 145, depending on which program you use. They can get up to about 150. But, a lot of them out there that are really, really hot, they're like 170, which is really hot. I mean, so 125 to 145 is still hot. It's kind of like that feeling of, being outside on a really warm day and just that kind of relaxing, like you're in a warm blanket. So you're definitely going to get hot. You're definitely going to sweat, but you're not going to be struggling to breathe, which I think is when you're experiencing a sauna session. I mean, I think that's the real difference. And I'm sure you can attest, like you're still sweating, you're still hot, right? So
I find what people need to realize is the whole chronic stress part and how most people tend to be sympathetic dominant. So it's hardest part to learn is how to be quiet and be still and not multitask and let your body respond. And when I had this in my studio last 2 years, so it's my 2-year anniversary of getting the infrared, that it's learning how to sit and relax and let your body be in the parasympathetic nervous system state to allow the benefits to happen. Because if you're, like, even if I go in there right after a workout, I might be too, adrenaline still going on, you're not able to calm down. And so I think it's really important to realize that to get the benefits, you have to almost do some relaxation therapy before you go in or as you go in, or I've done essential oils to help people stimulate the parasympathetic nerve, the vagal nerve, some breathing exercises, or even put them on my massage table and do some breathing exercises there and then go in. Because if you go in and you're high strung and you're like wired, you're not gonna, I don't sweat if I'm like that, at all, because my body's like, I'm in sympathetic. So I find it's really important to learn how to be in the rest and digest, recover, repair nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, to get the benefits. So a lot of this is to learn how to get that recovery repair by learning how to relax and slow down, pause, and reset. And I say reboot the system is the essential part to get the benefits.
Absolutely. I mean, and lowering your stress levels and lowering, all of those chemicals in our body that are active when we are stressed. I mean, that's a really important recovery as well, obviously. We have to have rest, we have to have sleep. I mean, those are just as important. And the great thing about our product too is it does promote relaxation. And so I'm very type A myself. So it was very, very hard when I started my sauna. I pulse. In fact, our entire family uses it. It's great for the entire family. All my kids use it. My parents live next door to me. We literally, it's a family affair. I think that one of the problems, that people have is just forcing that relaxation, because we live in a world that is like, go, 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 go. And then you throw in type A's on top and those that are overachievers and it makes it hard. But I think, you'll find, at least I have, as I've used my sauna, it becomes one of those things that I do in conjunction with meditation and some of those things to really bring me down. And it's beautiful how it all kind of works together, but definitely it promotes relaxation with the way that it works within your body. So I think it's a really nice way to relax, but also get benefits. And you're right. Like if you can kind of start to lower those levels before you go in, I think the benefits are even, more tenfold.
So that kind of goes into one of my questions was, as we're trying to focus on, here are different solutions to improve your immune system right now with the coronavirus going around and everyone's scared and trying to do what they can do. But how does the infrared help benefit our immune system? Is it because we're reducing chronic stress? Because as I keep saying, and I've written blogs and podcasting about this, your chronic stress is on, your immune system is depressed. So to really improve your immune system, let's start with our lifestyle habits, what we're eating, our exercise, not too much, not too little, and getting outside, but also, using the infrared to help us relax. So what other ways could this help our immune system?
Yeah, I mean, and the reason that it helps your immune system is because you're getting rid of those toxins, which allows your body to really focus on what it needs to focus on versus, our bodies, unfortunately, we're exposed to so many toxins environmentally and otherwise that it really takes our bodies, the job that our body is supposed to be doing is kind of put on hold because it works so much on, getting rid of toxins. So if they help us detox and do those things, then it boosts your immune system because it allows your body to really focus on what it needs to focus on because it takes that kind of toxic load off your body. So not only is it good for the system, it's good. It helps with circulation, pain relief. It lowers blood pressure. It helps with weight loss. There's just so many benefits to it. And now is actually a great time with all the stress that we have to be able, we need to be doing everything we can to boost our immunity. And this is just one more tool that people can add to their toolbox to boost immunity, to keep their toxin levels low, their blood pressure low, and keep their cellular health in good shape. It actually stimulates the circulatory system and it allows the cells to oxygenate. So it's literally working for you on a cellular level, and there's just not a whole lot of things we do that work to that deep level.
So would that be talking about the mitochondria function, how to optimize your mitochondria?
Yeah, so it does. It activates the mitochondria, which increases ATP production. All kinds of things. Increases collagen production. It definitely is it helps activate the mitochondria, which boosting so many other things within our body and rejuvenating our cells.
Does this help at all with the cell autophagy, people into fasting and getting rid of the dead cells? Would it seems like if we sweat out the toxins, it would also help with cell autophagy. Have they ever looked at that?
We have any specific studies around that? But yeah, I mean, if you put all the other pieces together, it seems that it would benefit you in that way as well. Yeah.
I was just thinking that. It's like, well, if it does the toxins and helps sweat out toxins, and we're just improving circulation, improving oxygen to our cells, it seems like a side benefit would be the dead cells and help strengthen our good cells, and the mitochondria help them get more resiliency, as they talk about.
Yeah. 100%.
So that kind of goes with hormetic stressors. I was just thinking, Ari Whitten has done a lot of research on chronic fatigue and mitochondria and how to optimize your mitochondria, which would be, hormesis, the good stressors, which are the cold thermogenesis and HIIT training, but not, every day as people tend to do, like 2-3 times a week. And same with the more is not better, but doing the infrared sauna is part of that. So I think, a good dose of stress is beneficial, but not spending 2 hours in your infrared every day. More is not better again, because once you tell someone something's good, what are they going to do? Overdo it, then it's not so great.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely use it on a daily basis. I wish I could say I did use it every day. I don't. But
you have 4 kids.
Right. Yeah. Like I barely have time to do anything. So yeah, but 30, 45 minutes, one day a week, every day a week. I wouldn't probably use it more than that. It's not like you're not going to get like more benefit, and your body continues, afterwards to sort of, bring that core body temperature down. And so it's still working for you and with you, even after you're not in your sauna. So yeah, I wouldn't say do it tons and tons and tons. And Ari's he's accurate there. I mean, he's one of our partners. We've worked with him for many years. And he's definitely a great person to go to for some of those suggestions on, what to do for mitochondria and so many other things too.
He was just I just had an email from him. He did a summit or something, or seminar, online seminar.
The sleep study. Yeah. I can't remember. He was promoted. Yeah, there's can't remember who actually organized that, but yes, he was just talking about the sleep summit, which is ironic because this, although we have kind of refocused with everything that's going on with coronavirus, we've had so many people reach out to us asking, how our products can help. But it is Sleep Awareness Month. And so I think that's where that comes from. And we had just, that's really what we were talking about this month. We kind of choose a different health topic for each month and talk about what those benefits are and how infrared or light therapy can help with that. But yeah, it's so good for sleep. I think that's one of the first things that people notice is just, even if you already think you sleep well, I think that's one of the first things you notice, that you sleep even better. You get to that deeper sleep sooner. You feel more rested when you wake up. I think that's another one of those kind of ideas out there that isn't accurate, is that, in fact, I just had a seminar with Sporting Kansas City, which is our local Major League Soccer team. They're really, really amazing and on the forefront. Their athletic director, Kurt, he's really on the forefront of like all these things we can do, biohacking and, genetics and how to keep his players healthy and everything. And a lot of them are from, across the pond where they grew up with saunas. That was like part of, the family life over there. But again, traditional saunas. And so they have our saunas in their facility, in their training facility. And so I was just kind of going to speak to the players about the benefits of it and like how to use it and some of the protocols and things. And a couple of them who grew up over there, like, oh, we hadn't used it because our experience growing up with saunas, we felt so drained and depleted afterwards. And so they didn't really realize it was different. And so we've had some feedback. They're like, oh my gosh, it's great. We tried it. And just how much more. And it's interesting because although you sleep better, it also kind of energizes you. It's like this weird balance of how you feel. And I think it's different for everyone. Some people do better in the morning. Some people do better at night. Like, you just kind of have to play with it as far as timing goes and what works best for you, and find out how it makes you feel and what time of day is best.
So last question, I think. So if we're doing this and we want to promote recovery and repair and reduce inflammation and, of course, immune system right now, is there I've kind of found some things I do beforehand and afterwards. So like using the rebounder, using parasympathetic essential oils to help that, some breathing exercises, and then post session doing a binder like chlorella or activated charcoal, or I'm taking this biobotanicals GI detox kind of things, and drinking water, obviously, with some sea salt. So what are some things? Oh, magnesium. That's what I was trying to. Magnesium lotion or spray, the ancient minerals. I've been using that afterwards. But pre-sauna, dry brushing, the rebounder, what are some things you do or suggest to improve the detoxification elimination, which will help all the other benefits?
Yeah. And again, I think we're all such unique individuals. And so, each body is different and is going to respond differently to different things. So I think it's kind of a personal preference in trying some of those different things, but I like all those things you're saying. I personally, I'm a huge believer in essential oils. So I definitely use essential oils, and even, and every time, I use those every time I go into the sauna, just to help with some of that, kind of open things up and allow things to decrease. I love dry brushing. We get a lot of questions about like cold therapy, hot therapy. They're definitely great together and different benefits. I know different athlete partners of ours do it differently, as far as what they do first. So I can't say that we have like traditional protocols, like we say you do this, but I just think all those things you're doing, just kind of trying out, and it's a little bit trial and error to see what makes you feel good and what feels good to your individual body.
I did try this morning because I had time, because I get up at 4:30 and I can't go to the gym. So I worked out. I created our home workout day 2, and then walked outside in just my tank top and workout shorts or tights. And it's 35 degrees here, and it's because it's clear blue skies in Seattle. And then I turned the infrared on before I worked out. So I went in there afterwards. And I find if I'm so cold and I go in there, I don't ever sweat because my body temperature is still low. So I think it's different benefits. Might be a hormetic stressor, but it doesn't help me detox. So it depends, what your purpose is, perhaps. That's my own theory. But I think for me, I have to if I'm cold, I have a biomat, so I can lie on that and, heat my body temperature up preheat. More. Then preheat, then go in there, because I tend to run cold, probably low thyroid. So I have to takes me a long time to sweat. So if I want to get the detoxification benefits of sweating out toxins, I need to, do some prep work, or else I'm in there for like an hour not sweating. So it helps to do kind of work with your body.
Yeah, agreed. I think, you're just different. I'm the same way. I run cold, so I try not to be completely cold. My hands and feet are always like freezing. So I try to kind of, do something, maybe aerobically. I usually work out, and so I'm already kind of heated up, obviously. My husband, however, he always runs hot, no matter even if it is 35 degrees out. So he immediately starts the sweat. It's just, it really is just so individual, just like, we can't all eat the same way. We can't all exercise the same way. Like, it's just so individual. So
that goes with everything I say. We've talked about my main mantras or philosophies. More is not better, the Goldilocks effect, and we're all bio individuals. So it's not one size fits all approach for anything, even using your infrared sauna. Right. Your protocol is going to be different for you versus your husband versus your kids and myself. So it's the same thing I talk about with nutrition and, just all these lifestyle habits. So just really reinforces that everyone you take what you can and then apply it to your own life. N equals 1, and life is an experiment, and you find out what works for you the best and figure out your areas of opportunity and, excel at that. So it's really a good transformation program to follow. Is just you keep learning and experimenting as we keep finding more research and things to do more, and add it into our little toolbox to optimize our health from a cellular level.
Yes, 100%. You're so right. We completely believe that exact same thing here. There's so many good things out there, but what is, what your body needs and it's going to react to, and the way, and just the routine of it all and what works best first and all of those things, nutrition, exercise, like, yeah, it's all so individual. So yeah, this is no different than anything else. Just trying to find, I mean, we know that you're going to get health benefits from it. But as far as like how it works in your routine, yeah, it's no different than anything else. Just kind of figuring out what makes you feel good. And yeah, so.
Good. Well, I'll put everything in the show notes and links if people want to learn more. It really ties into what I created 5 years ago. I called the holistic method to work on the whole you from the inside out. And there's 8 elements that I work on coaching people: the nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, movement, mobility, and then digestion, gut health, hydration. And the 8th one is happiness, laughter, gratitude, playing, and all of it has to be in balance, and finding the right amount is that N=1 by individuality. So I think, this helps with everything, and hopefully people can find ways that they can get an infrared or access to an infrared, because I love it. And it's so much easier having it in my own house. So I'm glad I have that access to it, but not everyone can do it. But I know there's a lot of businesses, once our lockdown is over, they can use it infrared. I know there's some sweat studios in Seattle that she's added, 3 locations. So I think, look where you are to look up Sunlighten and try it out. And then that's what I did. I tried it at a bunch of times at places, and I figured I might as well buy one, because I was spending money, $40, $50 a time using it at a health spa type of place, or wherever you go. And so I decided it was a good investment over time. So
yeah, absolutely. And feel free to give us a call. Make sure that we know that you called because of Debbie and her podcast. But we're happy to tell you, if you want to just try it out, we have obviously access to all of our commercial locations. And so we're happy to, give us a zip code, and we can look that up and let you know where you can try. But definitely one of the things that I'll kind of end on is we kind of joke around headquarters, like it's the addiction to feel good about, because you actually, you really you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get back in my sauna. And there's not many things that I think addiction-wise that we can feel good about. So, so definitely give us a call, and we'll help you find a place near you if you're not ready and you're unsure. And we can definitely point you in the right direction.
Well, good. Well, you guys can look down into those show notes and click on anything to learn more, the research studies too. And then I can put more on my website, debbiepotts.net. So thank you for coming on the show today. I'll let you get back to your busy day of the home office and being a mom and doing
a teacher now. Yeah, I know. Luckily that hasn't quite started yet. We still have a couple weeks till that starts, but that's going to be like a whole new world. So we're all in this together. So everyone, I hope, stay healthy and happy, and do what you can and do what you can, especially right now to de-stress. And thank you so much, Debbie, for having me. We're so glad to be able to have this opportunity with you.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at debbiepotts.net. You can help us to continue to grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time